Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, Miss Valentina, honorable members of the Russian delegation, honorable senators, ministers, it is a great honor and privilege to welcome Miss Valentina, Speaker of the Federation, Council of Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation, to the Senate of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Today's event represents another important step in strengthening the growing ties between Pakistan and Russia. Two nations connected by a shared commitment to regional stability, peace, and prosperity. Speaker Valentina brings an unparalleled wealth of experience in governance, diplomacy, international cooperation. Ms. Valentina's distinguished career spanning over 5 decades has left an indelible marks on diplomacy, politics, and governance. From her early years in Soviet youth leadership to becoming one of Russia's most influential figures, her journey is a testament to hard work, perseverance, and visionary leadership. A pivotal moment was her tenure as a governor of St. Petersburg, where she revitalized the city, focusing on economic growth, cultural perseveration, and global engagement, turning it into a hub of diplomacy and investment. Her diplomatic expertise extends well beyond Russia Federation. As ambassador of Malta and permanent representative of the United Nations, Ms. Matvienko significantly advanced Russia's interest on global stage, earning respect for her ability to navigate complex diplomatic landscapes and foster cooperation. Excellency, current role as Speaker of Federation Council marks the pinnacle of achievement, making her one of the most influential women in Russian politics. Under her leadership, the Federation Council has been instrumental in advancing Russia's legislative agenda and deepening international cooperation. Excellency, your contributions to the empowerment of women, your advocacy for social development, and your commitment to multilateralism resonate deeply with Pakistan values. Your leadership continues to inspire women around the world to pursue leadership roles and contribute to societal progress. We are particularly proud to stand beside leaders who share Pakistan's vision of inclusive and sustainable development. In this spirit, today's gathering is not just a celebration of our growing ties, but an opportunity to deepen our understanding and explore new avenues for collaboration. We have much learned from each other's experiences, and I am confident that this visit will be a stepping stone towards a brighter future of cooperation between Pakistan and Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and honor that we receive Ms. Valentina and her high-level delegation at the Senate of Pakistan. The presence of our esteemed guest from Russian Federation today is not only a testament to the strengthening friendship between our two nations, but also a reminder of our collective commitment to nurturing parliamentary ties. A rarity, the address of the Senate of Pakistan today by Her Excellency will mark a new chapter in the history of not only Senate but also Russia-Pakistan ties. Your Excellency, we are truly honored by your presence, and I now invite you to address the Senate of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellency Speaker Ms. Valentina.
Ваше превосходительство, уважаемый господин Гилани,
Mr. Gilani,
Ваше превосходительство,
Your
уважаемый
Excellency,
господин
esteemed
Гилани,
Gilani,
уважаемые сенаторы,
Senators,
коллеги,
colleagues,
друзья, ассаламу алейкум.
friends, welcome.
От имени
On behalf
российской делегации
of the Russian
я
delegation,
хочу сердечно
let me
поблагодарить вас
sincerely thank
за
you
гостеприимство,
for the hospitality
за прекрасный прием,
and
оказанный нам
wonderful
в
reception
Пакистане,
you have accorded
за
to us in
содержательную
Pakistan,
программу,
and for the intense agenda and for this opportunity to address in the Senate. It is a great honor for me. I am glad to once again visit your amazing country, a country with an ancient history and culture, diverse and distinctive traditions. The visit to Islamabad by the parliamentarian delegation of the Federation Council of the Senate of the Russian Parliament, this is a new step to strengthen the Russia-Pakistan political and parliamentarian dialogue, which is successfully developing at the top and high levels within the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, other regional and international organizations. I am persuaded that the recent visit by the Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Mr. Mikhail Mishustin, and the current visit of our delegation will greatly contribute to the further progressive development of cooperation between Russia and Pakistan. The relations between our countries have a long history. Even in most difficult times, Moscow and Islamabad kept up a dialogue. And now we can note with satisfaction that the similarity of our approaches are very close on the majority of international issues. Our countries are interested the same in an Afghan settlement and ensuring Central Asian security. I am persuaded that we shall sustain our mutual understanding on global security and stability, prevention of the placement of weapons in outer space, prohibition of biological, chemical, and toxin weapons, inadmissibility of imposing illegal sanction mechanisms, and all forms of politicization of humanitarian cooperation, including in sports. Russia and Pakistan have consistently promoted a strengthened UN central coordinating role in international relations. In this regard, we welcome and truly support the election of Pakistan to the UN Security Council as a non-permanent member for 2025-2026. It is for the 8th time already that your country plays here, which proves the increasing authority of your country on the global arena. I am persuaded that Pakistan will make a significant contribution to a more efficient Security Council and to the achievement of high goals of global security and peace. We expect that Pakistan's balanced position, your rich experience, and the profound wisdom of your people and its leaders will bring a new perspective when addressing many global problems. This is also evidenced by Pakistan's active participation in the UN peacekeeping missions in many regions of the world. We take full note of Pakistan's interest in deepening cooperation with BRICS, which includes sovereign states representing different continents, models of development, religions, distinctive civilizations and cultures. It has already become a new center of multipolarity where all participants favor equality, good neighborliness, and mutual respect. The transition from the unipolar to a multipolar world, this is an objective, historic process which no one can stop, including those who are trying to preserve their dominance and to preserve their hegemony. I know that the Senate of Pakistan fully shares these values and seeks their assertion on the international arena. In this regard, we also stand for more intensive interaction between legislators at multilateral fora, including the Interparliamentary Union and the Asian Parliamentary Assembly and other formats. We see a great potential in enhanced cooperation in the formats of parliamentary friendship groups, as well as through specialized committees of the upper houses of our parliaments. Today, with our colleague, with the chairman of the Senate of the National Assembly of Pakistan, signed memorandum on mutual understanding, which laid a legal framework for our parliamentarian interaction and will make our cooperation more systemic. There is another important area in our work, and we are counting very much on the two parliaments' joint work. I mean improving the legal framework for our cooperation. So in this regard, the important work of MPs is difficult to overestimate. Much remains to be done here, including for the progressive development of trade and economic ties, their diversification. They are based on a solid and time-tested foundation. The Soviet Union, as you know, helped Pakistan to develop its oil and gas industry, build major energy facilities, and supplied agricultural machinery.
In the 1970s and 1980s, the USSR assisted in building the Karachi metallurgical plant. At that time, it became some sort of a symbol of our friendship. Today we have to modernize this factory, or a new factory plan has to be done, or specialists are ready to cooperate and to interact with Pakistani authorities. We are waiting for proposals, of course, in case you are interested. These cooperation traditions are now being again relevant for us. In the last year, Russian-Pakistani turnover has grown by more than 50%, and for the first time it exceeded $1 billion. In January-August it grew by another 13%. This good dynamics should be supported in every possible way. And to do that, we have a great mutual yet unrealized potential. There are many promising areas for the development of our economic cooperation. I would like to highlight such areas as energy, the agro-industrial complex, among others. Those are areas which were discussed during the meeting of our presidents, our heads of states in Ashgabat. And now we should add some substance to these negotiations. Last year, the first shipment of Russian crude oil arrived at the port of Karachi, and already for the full year, its share in Russian exports to Pakistan exceeded 20%. And let me say it again, in case you are interested, we are ready to scale up the supplies of carbohydrates, hydrocarbons. We have increased grain supplies to the Pakistani market. In this regard, I would like to note that despite unfavorable weather conditions, Russian farmers have harvested already over 132 tons of grain. This guarantees Russia's reliability as one of the world's key agricultural exporters. To increase the harvests in Pakistan, we are ready to scale up supplies of mineral fertilizers, modern agricultural machines, and share our modern technology. The topic of the development of international transportation corridors is also relevant for our development. First and foremost, the North-South Transportation Corridor. Pakistan has a very favorable geographical location and has a considerable logistics and transit potential. As far as the North-South Transportation Corridor goes, it contributes to strengthening of relations of countries of the Global South, of other countries of the global majority. We're ready to develop it further, and we expect also interest from your part. Maintaining a constructive political dialogue, our countries are consistently pursuing a course for stepped-up cooperation in all areas, including the humanitarian one. When I met with the Speaker of Senate, Mr. Gilani, and with Mr. Sadiq, the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the esteemed President of Pakistan, we talked at length about developing our cooperation in education, culture, and other areas of humanitarian cooperation. To my mind, I think that these areas are lagging behind in comparison with our economic and business ties. At the same time, we can say that our bilateral cooperation in culture and sports is being developed, is being revived. One of the greatest poets, one of our greatest friends, wrote in Urdu, Faiz Ahmad Faiz. He translated Rasul Gamzatov's poetry, wrote about Russian great poet Alexander Pushkin, as well as about the heroic defenders of my native hero city of Leningrad. Russia and Pakistan can learn a lot from each other. They can enrich each other's cultures and open new horizons for our friendship. That's what Faiz Ahmad Faiz wrote about. We are developing our cooperation in science and education. We can notice progress in the bilateral agenda in the field of higher education, the recognition of diplomas and academic degrees, Friendly ties are being established between young people. We're glad that the Pakistani delegation has taken part in the World Youth Festival in the city of Sochi. More and more Russians are showing interest in Pakistan. I would like to note that the recent abolition of the visa fee by your country should have a positive effect on the tourist flow, including from Russia. And of course, the agenda includes opening direct flights between our countries and between our cities, which will give even more impetus to our tourist exchange. It has a very considerable economic significance and a very important human dimension. It strengthens our friendship and helps our citizens to learn more about history and culture of each other. The Federation Council, our relevant committees, advisory and expert bodies pay great attention to the topic of interfaith and interethnic relations. In our legislative work, we, Russian MPs, are guided by traditional spiritual values. I know that these important issues are also permanently in the focus of your attention. That's a good foundation for exchanging legislative experience among us. Parliaments play a responsible role in maintaining dialogue with faiths and religious leaders. Russian legislators, together with religious institutions, strive to preserve traditional spiritual and moral values, protect the family, motherhood, and childhood. Thus, in Russia, this year has been proclaimed the Year of the Family. Russia has historically emerged and developed as a state civilization with a multinational and multi-confessional people. In my country, there are more than 200 nations and ethnicities, and people of different faiths, different confessions, different ethnicities, speaking different languages, live in peace and agreement and in harmony. The Islam is an integral part of our country. We have more than 20 million Muslims in our country. The Muslim Ummah is an integral part of our society. It's making a huge contribution to maintaining peace and harmony, defending the fatherland, preserving cultural diversity, and strengthening the institution of family and educating youth. Here in Pakistan, I am especially pleased to feel the respect shown to women. It is nice to see female senators in this room. I know that the Constitution of Pakistan, whose half-century anniversary was celebrated last year, guaranteed the representation of women in Parliament. And this is very important, this is great. The number of places for women is steadily growing. Today they are significantly represented in both federal and provincial assemblies. It is important that a huge number of Pakistani women have broad access to education, politics, and social activities. Historically, as elsewhere, it was not easy. A striking example is the fate of the first female Prime Minister of Pakistan and the Muslim world, Benazir Bhutto. She wrote in her autobiography, Daughter of the East, published also in Russian, she wrote that politics was a difficult area of effort for a woman in any society. We always have to prove that we are not weaker than men, we have to work harder and longer. and make a lot of sacrifices. I think it was true for women in different countries, but now we see the situation improve, and I'm very glad to see the same thing happening in Pakistan. We had a lot in common. Dear colleagues, Russia and Pakistan are federal states. Parliaments in both Russia and Pakistan are bicameral. I know that your chamber, the Senate, is also called the Federation Chamber. Once again, bearing in mind the federal structure of your state, I know our Federation Council is also called the Chamber of Regions. We pay significant attention to the development between our regions and foreign partners. We see a growing interest to expand cooperation with Pakistani regions. Very promising for us are very tight interregional connections. St. Petersburg and Sindh province. In 2017, there was an agreement signed for closer cooperation. I think that we parliamentarians should support this line and to continue developing ties between other regions. We will give any support that is needed, and I would like also to ask you for support in this regard. We have similar goals, joint tasks and plans in many ways, so there will be joint actions. I would like to thank the Senate, the National Assembly of Pakistan, all the senators. And I would like to address Mr. Gilani, His Excellency, the Speaker of the Senate. I would like to thank you for contributing greatly in strengthening and developing of bilateral ties between our countries. These relations work on a mutually beneficial and mutually respectful footing. There is no minor or major partner. We respect sovereignty, traditions and culture of Pakistan and history, and we feel the same coming from the Pakistani side. We fully count on further work to develop cooperation between Russia and Pakistan for the benefit of our countries and peoples. Our meeting started with the national anthem of Pakistan. The national anthem starts with words. Starts with the following words: Be blessed, sacred land of Pakistan. I would wish every family and every person wealth, happiness, and health. Бохот шукрия, Пакистан, Руси дости зиндабад.
Now I request Senator Azam Nazir Tariq, Minister for Law and Justice, to present vote of thanks. He is representing the ruling party, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz.
It will work now. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Madam Speaker, Honorable Chairman, Senate of Pakistan, distinguished members of the Russian delegation, dear colleagues from Federal Cabinet and Senate of Pakistan, Excellencies, Assalamu alaikum, very good evening. It is a profound honor for me to address this August meeting today which is of great significance. We are privileged to host Madam Valentina to her esteemed delegation in the heart of Pakistan's democracy, the Senate of Pakistan. Madam Speaker, your presence in this House marks a historic moment in Pakistan-Russia relations. On behalf of Senate of Pakistan, I extend our deepest gratitude to you and your esteemed delegation for engagement and dialogue which reflect the spirit of friendship, respect, and mutual cooperation between our nations. This visit also marks a new chapter in inter-parliamentary relations between Pakistan and Russia. It is both timely and symbolic, as we have recently concluded the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Senate of Pakistan and Federation Council of Russia. This MOU will serve as a cornerstone for deepening collaboration, facilitating delegation exchanges, joint consultations, and institutional learning between our legislative bodies. Excellencies, the relationship between Pakistan and Russia is rooted in mutual respect, shared interests, and a collective desire to contribute to regional stability and economic prosperity. Over the past 76 years, our two countries have worked together across various domains, strengthening economic cooperation, promoting cultural exchanges, and advancing regional connectivity. This visit is a significant opportunity for both our nations to build upon the progress we have achieved. It offers us the chance to explore new avenues of collaboration, not only in energy and trade, but also in education, cultural exchange, technology, and many others. We view the initiatives between us as pivotal elements in expanding our bilateral partnership. These projects not only serve to meet Pakistan's energy and infrastructure needs, but also enhance regional trade and foster integration across South and Central Asia. They reflect the growing convergence of our interest in creating sustainable and inclusive economic pathways for our people. Madam Speaker, the people and leadership of Pakistan believe firmly in peace, cooperation, and regional stability. We look forward to strengthening our partnership within multilateral forums like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which continues to provide a valuable platform for coordinated efforts on counterterrorism, trade, and sustainable development. With these shared aspirations in mind, I offer you our warmest wishes for the remainder of your visit to Pakistan. We are deeply honored to have hosted you, and we look forward to a future where our two countries continue to grow together in friendship and collaboration. Pak-Russia friendship Zindabad.
Now I request Senator Sayyid Ali Zafar, Parliamentary Party Leader of Pakistan Tariq and Insaf Opposition.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Speaker of Russian Federation, Honorable Chairman of Pakistan Senate, it is a unique sight to see both of you sitting together. Trust me, it proves that this is a historic occasion indeed. Distinguished friends and colleagues from Russia, fellow senators, dear colleagues, it is an honor to greet and welcome you in our midst. Your visit is a reminder, Madam Chairman, that diplomacy is not just limited to governments. Diplomacy is actually a parliamentary affair also. And we believe that together, these legislatures, the Russian legislature and our legislature, can bridge and build bridges, bridge gaps and build bridges that normally statecraft can't. I'm a lawyer, Madam Chairman, and it's easy to be a lawyer and I always believed that the most difficult thing was to be a judge, because you have to hear arguments from both sides and then decide day after day. But when I became a senator, I realized that there's even a more difficult job, and that is to be a speaker of a parliament. Because here we have people from the government side and very able people from the opposition as well, arguing on everything with each other every day. We don't agree on anything. We disagree. We even have tempers. We sometimes lose them, and the speaker and the chairman's job is that in this charged atmosphere, they have to maintain impartiality and then give their rulings. So commended. I think your very election as a speaker is commendable. Madam Chairman, we are in a unique juncture in global history. You have rightly advocated something which I'd like to quote. You have advocated the notion that our time is marked by global tectonic shifts in the world system. I want to say that Russia's vision of a global structure which is multipolar, rather than dominated by one power or a few powers. Russia's vision of a world where there is greater autonomy for nations to determine their own political, economic, and social development. This is a vision that is shared by many in Pakistan. I believe that your concept or Russia's concept of sovereignty, no interference by foreign powers, is the belief that many of us also hold. I want to reiterate, Madam Chairman, that in Pakistan, we too, both domestically and in the international era, promote and believe in the concepts of equality, the concept of the inalienable right of every nation to foster their own destiny without foreign interference. And we also believe in your concept of domestic traditions. That is also very close to our hearts. So Pakistan believes, and as an opposition leader, I'd like to say that this is a unanimous view. We agree finally from the government side and from the opposition side on one thing, which is that in this new world order, we want to strengthen the process, and we believe that Russia can be a leading and crucial partner for us. Madam, we are in politics, and our goal is very clear. We want to bring a positive change in this world, and we want to promote education, we want to promote health, and we inspire that people will have pride in our respective nations. Parliamentary relations are a powerful instrument, a most powerful instrument for achieving this. And that is why I consider your engagement with us today as a historic step forward. In pursuit of progress, I propose we strengthen our bonds through agreements in science and technology. I believe that memorandum of understandings between Russian and Pakistani universities could foster academic exchange, while partnerships in trade, economics, and even social and cultural fields could enrich both our nations. The Russian parliament, of course, I visited recently, and it reflects the diversity that you were speaking about. It also reflects that apart from politicians and apart from intellectuals, you have many famous people like world champions in boxing, world champions in ice skating, chess champions. You've had them in your parliament. We too have experts here in this very Senate from fields that are dedicated to serving the nation. So we have great mutual respect for each other's parliaments, and I believe that through this we can take our inter-parliamentary relationship to heights that have never been seen before. On behalf of millions of Pakistanis who hold Russia in high regard, I extend a message of friendship. Our national poet, Allama Iqbal, famously said, and he was speaking about the soil of Pakistan, he said, "This soil is fertile. This soil is fertile and needs only one drop of water." The same applies to our friendship between Russia and Pakistan. With sincere cooperation, this bond can grow from strong to extraordinary. In closing, I am reminded of the wise words of Hazrat Ali, who said, "You can trust any friend who has helped you in hard times." Let us, Madam Chairman, nurture our friendship with this spirit, one that strengthens through shared support and shared understanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I request Senator Sharif Rahman, Parliamentary Party Leader of Pakistan People's Party, parliamentarian, to
Thank you,
present
Chairman.
vote of thanks.
Madam Speaker and Mr. Chairman, thank you. And first of all, allow me to welcome Her Excellency, Ms. Valentina Matvienko. I hope I'm pronouncing this name perfectly, because I hear everybody calling you only by your first name. So welcome to Pakistan, to Islamabad, and our chamber of, as you call it, the House of the Regions and the Federation. It reflects your chamber as well. To all our distinguished parliamentarians, cabinet members, and other colleagues present here, I think we all agree, Madam Speaker, that Pakistan and Russia don't have a young relationship. We have an old, enduring bond. And I say this from my heart because I remember as a little girl reading, looking at the Sputnik magazine, also dreaming of going to see the Bolshoi ballet one day. And of course I did manage. That's the first thing I did when I got there, to go to the Bolshoi. So your great country's past, its history, its gravitational cultural power has had a profound impact on many students, on intellectual minds, and even political trends in Pakistan. As I said, our relationship didn't begin yesterday, but we hope to strengthen it to new levels across the board. And we really, Madam Speaker, appreciate your coming to Pakistan, but also to this chamber, to share your thoughts with us, to share your time with us, and to bring to Pakistan your valuable insights that we have been hearing across several meetings, as well as your deputies and committee chairpersons that have accompanied you on this trip. I commend you, Madam Speaker, for bringing this kind of august delegation, because this is truly an enhancement of ties between two parliaments. And parliaments, Madam Speaker, as you know, can do what governments often cannot. They bring the power of the people to any task. And that is where we can apply our minds, our critical mass, and good politics to breaking down any problem, solving any challenge, overcoming any hurdle, and bringing two countries together in an era, as you mentioned, of great change, of great tumult, and transformational energies in the world, from artificial intelligence to many things. You have mentioned, Madam Speaker, in your address that You have thought of Pakistan many times. You have thought of Pakistan's women many times, and you appreciated many women in the Senate, in the provinces, and you took time out to appreciate my leader, my great leader, Benazir Bhutto Shaheed, who died facing the sun, facing challenges that very few men could withstand. She was the ultimate political icon for Pakistan, for South Asia, and for the Muslim world. As twice elected Prime Minister, I'm proud to represent her party here, as is the Chairman Senate of Pakistan, Mr. Yusuf Raza Gilani. But we're all friends here, we're all colleagues. As a barrister says here, that we disagree, we often fight. I hope we don't fight more. I hope we use this opportunity when countries can speak to each other and not at each other, that we too can bridge many divides in the spirit of civilization, comity, and gathering together like we have done today. Madam Speaker, your visit to us is not a ceremonial one only. To us it is, as everyone said, a great milestone in our relationship because it embodies both our countries' collective commitment to democratic ideals, dialogue, multilateral engagement, and the fostering of joint goals which have been talked about across the board today. It also reflects our shared belief that through dialogue and legislative cooperation, we can foster partnerships that transcend political boundaries and bring our people closer together. In today's complex global environment, Madam Speaker, parliaments and multilateral forums like the SCO play a pivotal role in bridging differences. This is a very divided, polarized world, and I think advancing mutual understanding and strengthening trust between nations is a great project that your country has also undertaken. We congratulate you on your coming here, and I also want to say that it was touching to hear you note our great poets, Faiz Ahmad Faiz. I also want to take this opportunity to say that we have a connection between our two nations, as I said, in literature, philosophy, and art. Russia's literary giants are studied here, believe it or not. Leo Tolstoy and Fyodor Dostoevsky are studied here in great length. I run a book club called the Dostoevsky Club, and we have many great evenings listening to your music, your ballet, your culture. But today we have come to a place in history, both for Pakistan and Russia, where we can take Eurasia forward. Eurasia is a rising power. Your country crosses many regional connectivity opportunities when we talk about ties for sharing energy, agriculture, technology, and all the opportunities we can find for trade and economic cooperation. It is a century for trade, it is a century for economic power, and we all can maximize benefits by bringing parliaments together. And I firmly believe that the friendship between Pakistan and Russia, anchored in dialogue, cooperation, and mutual trust, will continue to thrive and evolve for our well-being and prosperity for both our people. Madam Speaker, I'm confident that your important visit will be in front of us as a landmark that will turn Parliament's history for both. I would suggest that we deepen our bonds through all the chairpersons you have brought with you. Perhaps we could share notes with the chairpersons, corresponding chairpersons here. That would be a great, I think, productive outcome, perhaps at your dinner, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, or at any other opportunity. The visit is short. I'm sure it is already scripted and planned for, but I think this is an excellent opportunity that chairpersons of committees have come here all the way, and we must use this opportunity to cooperate and enhance our ties. Thank you very much for your patience and time. Welcome again.
I recognize the presence of MNAs Mr. Nabil Gabol, Abdul Qadir Gilani, Naveed Ahmed Jiva, Seher Kamran in the gallery. And for Mr. Senator Ali Zafar, about fight, I just say when we agree to disagree, it's democracy. Now I request Senator Amal Wali Khan, Parliamentary Party Leader of Awami National Party and convener of Pakistan-Russia Parliamentary Friendship Group to present vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Speaker, Valentina Matvienko, distinguished members of the Russian delegation, honorable senators, excellencies, it is a great personal pleasure and a rare privilege to convey our profound greetings and sentiments of bonhomie to our distinguished guests as memento of abiding friendship and love from the Pakistani Parliament, the political and parliamentary leadership, and our whole nation. Madam Speaker, we are grateful to you and the members of your delegation for honoring us with your visit. I am confident that this valuable interaction and exchange of ideas between parliamentarians from the two sides would go a long way in further enriching, diversifying, and deepening fraternal Pakistan-Russia relationships. Madam Speaker, your visit marks a historic headway in furthering Pakistan-Russia relations and cooperation. I am buoyed by absolute confidence that together we can lay the foundation for an even stronger partnership in the future to realize commonly cherished ideas of peace, development, progress, innovation, enlightenment, and harmony. The bonds of friendship and cooperation that we have renewed during your visit will enrich and deepen our bilateral, inter-parliamentary, economic, investment, and trade linkages. Madam Speaker, it's a very proud day for me today. Talking about 100 years old history, I am a proud hire standing in front of you right now. Let's remember my great-grandfather and my grandfather, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Khan Abdul Wali Khan, who late, both are now late, who just for this ideology and mindset that we must have friendly relationships with our neighboring country, regional countries, have been labeled traitors in Pakistan, as we said before, have been labeled agents of Russia, and in Pakistan, we and you both have been called the red non-Muslims, and I'm proud of that today, that Pakistan is moving in the direction where we asked them to move 50 years ago. The only reason we had to struggle for the 50 years taking Russia was our idea of having friendship with regional and neighboring countries. Taking this privilege, I request the chair to extend hands towards all neighboring countries. We must have a friendship criteria before everything. We must have good friendship with India. We must have good friendship with Afghanistan. We must have good friendship with Iran, China, Russia, and we must promote dialogues between these countries. Madam Chairman, I, as the chairman of Awami National Party, would like to bring it in your notice that in my headquarters in Peshawar Bacha Khan Markaz, We have had an exchange of poetry between Russia and Pukhtuns. Alexander Pushkin's statue is there in Bacha Khan Markaz, where anyone can go and find it, and the ambassador knows it very well. And in return, our national poet Khan Abdul Ghani Khan, his statue is there in Russia, and this shows the tie between Russia and Awami National Party and the Pushtun nation. Madam Chairman, just to remind everyone, in 80s, we had a students' exchange program where people from Awami National Party, the Pukhtuns, used to be sent to Russia where they would study on scholarship, and at this moment there are thousands and thousands of Pukhtuns living in Russia, living their lives over there after that program, and we would love that program to be reinitiated, and we would love student exchange programs and some more technical programs over there. Madam Speaker, history is history, but we cannot live in history. We must learn from history, and then we must move on. History might be brutal. Let me state that. Sitting and standing in my country, have to face a lot of troubles. But again I say, history might be brutal. But Madam Speaker, as I said, we have to learn lessons, and we have to move on. And your visit and this delegation's visit to Pakistan shows that yes, we are moving on, and countries or nations decide with their minds, not with their hearts. We have to leave our hearts aside, and minds at this time says that you need us and we need you. Russia needs Pakistan, and Pakistan needs Russia, and this bilateral relation is the need of the hour, was the need of the hour, and will be the need of the hour. Whatever, Madam Speaker, is happening is our dream. My ancestors, with hundreds of thousands of workers, dreamt to have a good relationship with Russia as a country and Russia as a nation. We must work at every level to make these bonds strong. May it be between country to country, or may it be between nations to nations. We must work on nations to nations relations. We must work on business. We must work on trade. We must have expertise exchange program. We must have technical exchange program. And as Madam Chairman, I said, we must work at every level to make the bonds between Russia and Pakistan the strongest bonds that people must relate to. Madam Chairman, we, as the preachers of non-violence, we, the Awami National Party, as the preachers of peace, and as I consider myself or the ideology as allies to the Russian Federation in Pakistan in the past 50 or 60 years, I request you, I would never want to hurt the sentiments, but I want to become the voice of the voiceless. Madam, it's a request, a humble request, that the war must end. There must be an end to the Ukraine war. And Madam, it's a voice of the voiceless. War never brings love. War brings hatred. War brings disharmony. And every matter must be solved across the table. Madam Speaker, it will be a lovely gesture if we can have this as a present to this Pakistan or the Republic of Pakistan, and this war comes to an end, because, Madam, we and you all must promote love. We must promote non-violence. We must condemn what the violent countries are doing. We must condemn what Israel is doing. We must condemn what Israel, backed by the US, is doing. War is not in favor of anyone. The world must put an end to the war, and we and you must put together our voices for or against the brutality of Israel, what Israel is doing in the world. Supported and backed by the US of A, we must put an end to it. We must put a foot down in it, that there must not be any war. And if our lovely life or our peace is disturbed, we must join our hands together for peace to be supported and put back. I would also like to congratulate the government of Russia on the successful conclusion of the BRICS summit. And Madam Speaker, we Pakistan would love to be part of your summit. We would love to be part of the BRICS. And it's again voice of all Pakistan nation that you put our word ahead, and Pakistan must be part of the BRICS. I would also request the government of Russia to consider the installation of a small atomic power station in Pakistan, which is already in process. And as I've been to Russia, and I know what a lovely country, what a lovely nation, working on 100 regional languages. My God, we cannot work on one language. Russia is working on 100 regional languages, and I salute that country just because of this. Ma'am, it also reflects our shared belief that through dialogue and legislative cooperation, we can nurture partnerships that transcend political boundaries and bring our people closer together. I am confident that our parliamentary ties will also continue to flourish with more such exchanges so as to share good practices and expertise for mutual benefit. Madam Chairman, on this note, I once again welcome and greet Your Excellency in our midst, confident that the friendship between Pakistan and Russia would grow from strength to strength and generation to generations in year to come. I thank you.
Your permission, Madam Speaker, he was in the hospital and he was not well, Mr. Ahmed Wali Khan. And the leader of the BAP party, Balochistan Awami Party, he was the one who had to speak. If you allow 2 minutes, should I give it to him, because you are already late for the dinner and you have a hectic day, the whole day. I'll request for 2 minutes to Mr. Manzoor Kakar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Speaker, आपके साथ आए हुए आपके मेंबर्स डेलीगेशन में मैं इस अपर हाउस में सबको खुश आमदीद कहता हूं। मैडम स्पीकर, आज आपने जो तकरीर की, आपने साबित कर दिया एक चीज़ को कि ज़िंदा कौमें जो ज़िंदा रहती हैं वो अपने सकाफ़त को, अपने कल्चर को, अपने ज़ुबान को प्रमोट करते हैं। आज आपने इस हाउस में आके अपनी ज़ुबान में तकरीर करके जो महज़ब कौमें होती हैं, जो ज़िंदा कौमें होती हैं, आज आपने सबूत यहाँ पे दिया। और ऐसे कौम जो अपने कल्चर को, अपने ज़ुबान को, अपने सकाफ़त को प्रिज़र्व करते हैं, वो कौमें तारीख़ में याद रखी जाती हैं। जिन कौमों ने अपने सकाफ़त को, अपने तारीख़ को, अपने ज़ुबानों को छोड़ा है, वो कौमें बहुत पीछे रह गई है। क्योंकि मेरा अपनी कौमी ज़ुबान उर्दू है, अगर मैं इसकी पहचान न रखूं दुनिया में तो शायद फिर मैं अपना नाम और निशान भी भूल जाऊं। मैडम स्पीकर, जब हम आए थे रशिया, सादिक संजरानी साहब उस डेलीगेशन को लीड कर रहे थे। आपके साथ जो मीटिंग्स थी मैडम स्पीकर, आपके वो अल्फाज आज तक मुझे याद है। आपने ये बात की थी कि आप, मुझे खुशी हुई कि आप अपनी ज़ुबान को प्रमोट कर रहे हो, आप अपनी सकाफ़त को प्रमोट कर रहे हो। तो आपकी वो बात आज भी मेरे जहन में थी। मैडम स्पीकर, तो इस हवाले से उस टाइम सादिक संजरानी साहब ने आपको पाकिस्तान आने की दावत दी थी, और फिर मैं गिलानी साहब का जो हमारे सेनेट चेयरमैन है, मैं इनका भी शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि इन्होंने आपको लेटर लिखा पाकिस्तान आने के लिए, और फिर मैं आपका और आपके टीम का और रशिया का शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आपने वो एक्सेप्ट किया, आप आए पाकिस्तान और अपने डेलीगेशन के साथ। एक बार फिर मैं इस पर फ़ख्र करता हूँ मैडम स्पीकर। इस हवाले से बातें तो यहाँ पे बहुत हुई मैडम स्पीकर, जो चंद चीज़ें हैं रीजन के हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, ख़ासकर मैं ग्वादर की बात रखूँगा। बलूचिस्तान से मेरा ताल्लुक़ है। ग्वादर वन बेल्ट वन रोड जो सेंट्रल एशिया की तरफ इशारा करता है, उस पे जो हमारे एशिया या सेंट्रल एशिया के जो हमारे दोस्त हैं, ममालिक हैं, जितने हमारे दोस्त हमारे साथ आएंगे और इस रूट को कामयाब करेंगे, इसमें पाकिस्तान का नेशन या हमारे हमसाया ममालिक और ख़ासकर सेंट्रल एशिया के हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, तो ये सब के लिए फ़ायदा होगा इस रीजन में। वो वक्त आ चुका है मैडम स्पीकर कि हम रशिया जो बाकी हमारे ममालिक के, हम मिल के इस रीजन के लिए, अवाम के लिए हम काम कर सके मैडम स्पीकर। जैसे यहाँ पे ब्रिक्स की बात हुई, आपसे हम रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, दोस्तों ने भी की, प्रेसिडेंट साहब ने भी ये बात रखी थी, सुबह चेयरमैन साहब ने भी ये बात रखी थी, अगर उसका हिस्सा पाकिस्तान को मेंबर बनाया जाए तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात होगी, क्योंकि हम आपसे इसी फोरम पे, हर फोरम पे ये रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे। जैसे कि SCO के हवाले से यहाँ पे कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था, मैं यहाँ पे जितने हमारे बड़े बैठे हुए हैं, वज़ीर आज़म साहब, हमारे इत्यादी, जो एक कामयाब कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ और जो पाकिस्तान का एक बहुत अच्छा इमेज चला गया, और वहाँ पे आपके प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब भी तशरीफ़ लाए थे, और वहाँ पे जो MIO साइन हुए थे, मैं चेयरमैन सेनेट साहब से यही रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा, जो मुआहदे साइन हुए हैं, होना तो ये चाहिए कि उस मुआहदे पे, जो मुआहदे हुए हैं उस पर काम हो, कि जल्द हमारा ट्रेड हो और हमारी जो दोस्ती है, जो पुरानी दोस्ती है, उसको दोबारा हम फहाल कर सके। मिस्टर चेयरमैन साहब, मैडम स्पीकर, यहाँ पे एयरलाइन की बात हुई थी, ये भी हम रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि एक डायरेक्ट एयरलाइन जो कार्गो है या एयरलाइन है, वो डायरेक्ट रशिया के लिए शुरू हो जाए, तो ये भी इस मुल्क की दोस्ती में और हमारे ताल्लुकात में मज़ीद इजाफा भी करेगा मैडम स्पीकर। उसके साथ साथ जहाँ पे आपने ऑयल की बात की, गैस की बात की, एग्रीकल्चर की बात की, अगर हम इस तरह इकट्ठे हो के हम आगे चलेंगे तो ये दोस्ती और मुफीद होगी, हमारे ताल्लुकात और मजबूत होंगे, और हमारे जो सफारती ताल्लुकात है उसको भी हमने और मजबूत करना है। यहाँ फेडरेशन हो, रशिया का फेडरेशन हो, हम यहाँ से आके डेलीगेशन, वहाँ से डेलीगेशन आके, अगर हम इस तरह अपने व्यूज़ एक्सचेंज करेंगे तो हम आगे की तरफ बढ़ सकते हैं मैडम स्पीकर। और इसके साथ साथ जो हमारे चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स है, जो हमारे बिजनेसमैन कम्युनिटी है, उसको भी जो है ना, हम रशिया हमें भेजना चाहिए, और वहाँ की जो कम्युनिटी है यहाँ आनी चाहिए। जो हम चाहते हैं, जो हमारी सोच है, जो हमारी फ़िक्र है कि हम अपने ट्रेड, अपनी दोस्ती, अपने सकाफत, इन तमाम चीज़ों को आगे ले चलेंगे, तो उसका रास्ता यही है मैडम स्पीकर। इस हवाले से जैसे हमारा रीजन है, इसमें जो आर्म्स की दौड़ है, इसके हवाले से जो हमारा SCO जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था, उसका मेन एजेंडा भी यही था कि जो एशिया है, इसमें अमन के हवाले से, खुशहाली के हवाले से अगर हम इस पे ज़्यादा काम करेंगे तो हमारे जो न्यू जनरेशन है, जैसे उसके ऊपर बात हुई यहाँ पे, जो हमारे डॉक्टर्स हैं, जो हमारे इंजीनियर्स हैं, वहाँ आएंगे, उसके लिए स्कॉलरशिप होगा। तो इस हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, हम आपसे यही रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि इस जो आपका यहाँ का दौरा है, इसको हमने यहाँ पे ख़त्म नहीं करना है, इसको हमने आगे ले जाना है, हमने आगे इस पे काम करना होगा। एक बार फिर आप तमाम दोस्तों का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
I wanted to give time to each and every senator because of the constraint of time. I apologize. I am not being able to give floor to most of the members who wanted to speak. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The House stands adjourned to meet again on Tuesday, 29th October 2024 at 11 a.m.
Federal Cabinet and Senate of Pakistan, Excellencies, Assalamu alaikum, very good evening. It is a profound honor for me to address this August meeting today, which is of great significance. We are privileged to host Madam Valentina to her esteemed delegation in the heart of Pakistan's democracy, the Senate of Pakistan. Madam Speaker, your presence in this House marks a historic moment in Pakistan-Russia relations. On behalf of Senate of Pakistan, I extend our deepest gratitude to you and your esteemed delegation for engagement and dialogue which reflect the spirit of friendship, respect, and mutual cooperation between our nations. This visit also marks a new chapter in inter-parliamentary relations between Pakistan and Russia. It is both timely and symbolic, as we have recently concluded the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Senate of Pakistan and Federation Council of Russia. This MOU will serve as a cornerstone for deepening collaboration, facilitating delegation exchanges, joint consultations, and institutional learning between our legislative bodies. Excellencies, the relationship between Pakistan and Russia is rooted in mutual respect, shared interests, and a collective desire to contribute to regional stability and economic prosperity. Over the past 76 years, our two countries have worked together across various domains, strengthening economic cooperation, promoting cultural exchanges, and advancing regional connectivity. This visit is a significant opportunity for both our nations to build upon the progress we have achieved. It offers us the chance to explore new avenues of collaboration, not